Going, everyone? Wait till some people get in here. No one's on yet. Got one person. All right, well, while we wait for people to come in here, I'll kind of give a rundown on the Packers' return from injury list this week. There's a few pretty big names on here, which is important. We've been missing these guys for a while now. We got Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, Jay Sternberger, and Trevor Davis. How's it going, Chad? Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones have both been out with hamstring issues for several weeks now, and which is big. They've missed time in training camp and both preseason games. And last week, our run game was atrocious. I remember seeing the statistics at 1.7 rushes for 7 yards. That's pretty bad. Late in the game there, they got the running game going a little bit, but the first and seconds, they didn't do very well at all. I don't know if it was offensive line player or the running backs or what, but they got beat up pretty good in the running game. So that's important to have those two guys back, and Trevor Davis too. Obviously, he's a special teamer, punt returns, kick returns, that type of deal. But he's also been playing well at receiver, and he's fighting for a roster spot. I believe he'll make the roster spot as a guy that can step in at receiver too. He ain't gonna make your top 3 or 4 receivers on the roster, but guy that's valuable at special teams and receiver that'll probably earn him a roster spot. So it's good to see him back at practice anyways. He's been big throughout mini camp, training camp, everything. He's been making big plays. I'd say there probably hasn't been too many players that have made more big plays than him so far during training camp. So it's huge to get him back on the field too. It's good to see that more guys are coming back than guys, going out with injuries. It seems like we're always riddled with injuries, but good to see them coming back. How's it going, Wisconsin Outlook? Thanks for stopping in. And the guys that are out right now, got Jimmy Graham, Kevin King, Oren Burks, Danny Vitale, Holman, and Josh Jones. Jimmy Graham, he left practice the other day with holding his finger, and initial thought was that it was a dislocated finger. So he left practice the rest of the day with it, and some people thought that he could have to have surgery on it, and it looks like he doesn't have to. So he should be back sooner rather than later. So that's big news there. Kevin King sounds like he's going to be back fairly soon. He hasn't been ruled out for week 1, so I'm thinking he'll be back by week 1. Oren Burks, his initial thought was that he's going to miss most of the season, if not all the season, with his torn pectoral muscle. That's right here in your chest. It's a pretty big deal that happens. Like I said, you could miss the whole season. But sounds like he's going to be able to rehab and get back on the fields sooner than they thought. No surgery required on that one either. Danny Vitale and Holman, I'm not sure on their injuries what they are. Vitale has been huge throughout preseason. the training camp and everything. He's a huge part of the offense, so getting him back will be huge. It doesn't sound serious with him either. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure what the injury is, but if it was serious, we'd all know about it. So, and Josh Jones, I believe his might be a foot injury, and I'd say that you could make a bet that he won't be back after his injury. I'm thinking, or I don't know that there's much of a chance that he'll be back. As everybody knows, he demanded a trade earlier this offseason because we drafted Darnell Savage at free safety and signed Adrian Amos. So that kind of left him the odd man out at the safety position. So he demanded a trade and didn't show up to OTAs, which, isn't the biggest deal, but, with new schemes and everything and new coach, he should be there. He didn't show up. He did show up to mandatory camps, training camp and everything, and was injured right away, and now this again, and I'm guessing he ain't gonna make the 53-man roster. So that's what's going on with the injuries anyhow. Chad said, just my opinion, the Packers will never be a running team. Too much money tied up in Aaron's arm. They are going to be a running team this year. I'm not saying they're going to be running the ball more than they're going to be passing, but they're going to be running it a lot more than they have in the past. That is for sure. Okay, then next is Rodgers is going to be getting all the freedom to do all the play calling in 2-minute drives. So, they need to score their late game, fourth quarter or end of the first half. How's it going, Michelle? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping. Rodgers is going to be doing all the play calling in that. Somebody asked him last week during practice why LaFleur gave him a formation and a play, and he just changed the formation and called a different play right away. Somebody asked him about that in his press conference, and he quickly, kind of shut the guy down because he's obviously trying to start drama between LaFleur and Rodgers. And but yeah, that's why. That's because he gets all the play calling privileges during the final 2-minute drive. So that's big news. That's important there. Rodgers has a long history of making huge plays and making the right audibles and calls during the 2-minute drill. You won't find another quarterback in the league with more highlight reel plays during the 2-minute drive. So that's pretty big and important. Got 2 people in here. Michelle's one of them, I assume. A little slow tonight. Something to watch for too. Training camp from here on out. Preseason battles. That's really heating up is Elgton Jenkins and Lane Taylor. Elgton Jenkins, Pro Football Focus has him right now as the #1 offensive lineman in the NFL during preseason that has taken at least 40 snaps, and he's got the best pass rush or pass protecting grade in the entire NFL, which is huge. Being a rookie too, and at the left guard position, it's really heating up there. Lane Taylor started last year and he struggled a little bit. And Elgton Jenkins, he's playing really well. I believe he hasn't allowed one pressure so far yet in preseason, so he's playing extremely well. He's looking to take Lane Taylor's job. It's obviously not solidified, but it very possibly could happen. I wouldn't mind seeing the change. And if that does happen or it doesn't happen, that just means that we got more depth on the offensive line. It's the NFL, injuries happen, guys get tired, injured, and we got to have the next guy up to move into that position. And to say that we have really 2 starting caliber left guards is huge. So that's great news. Jamon Moore, he is kind of on fighting for his job the way it's been going in training camp. One day he's doing great, next day not so much. He's had some drop balls during preseason, and then Friday, the day after the Ravens game, he was speeding in his Mercedes and caused a car accident. Pretty serious car accident too. I don't believe he was injured at all, but yeah, not the smartest thing to do on your day off to go speeding and cause a car accident. I'm guessing, it was kind of 50-50 before between him and Kumaro, but I'm guessing they're going to give Kumaro the nod on the 53-man roster and probably cut ties with Jamon Moore, which sucks because he's, it's only his second year in the league to get cut like that. They might move him to a practice squad guy, but chances are he'll get picked up by another team, and a good chance he'll get cut from that one or something. But yeah, he will probably will not be with the Packers anymore after the final preseason game. Melissa, yes, peeps from Arlington, Massachusetts, Patriots fan, was born and raised, was a fan prior to them winning. There you go. That's good. That's one thing I don't like about a lot of Patriots fans and a lot of other teams in the league is there are a lot of bandwagoners. Seahawks and the Rams and all kinds of teams in the NFL got bandwagoners. I respect the fans that have been there for a long time and rooted for their teams for a long time. And I can't stand bandwagoners. I don't understand why following sports if you don't really have a team to stick with. So another big news is whether Rodgers is going to play or not tomorrow night in Canada, in Winnipeg. It's debate whether he needs the timeout on the field or not. And I say he does. I mean, I get that he's a 14-year veteran and he's got a ton of experience under his belt, and people say that he doesn't need it because of that. He's got so much experience in the league, but he hasn't thrown a meaningful pass in a lot of months now, against the real competition other than practice and against his own guys. He needs to go against another team, and he's in this brand new scheme, and everybody says that the offense has been struggling during practices, training camp, all the way through. The offense has been struggling, so they need to get some confidence to them. They need to go out and beat up on that Oakland Raiders defense a little bit. They're pretty suspect. They need to get some confidence and they need to get some experience. Other than Devontae, I'd say Rodgers is, acquired too much chemistry with any of the receivers yet other than Devontae. So I think it's huge that he gets out there, for at least a quarter, or it probably won't be though. I'd be surprised if he does play at all, but I think he should. If he does play at all, give it 1 to 2 drives, and he'll probably be out. But I wouldn't go throw him at the Wolves to the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field week 1 without any kind of playing time under his belt so far this year. That doesn't seem like the move to me. So I think he should play. More issues is the missed tackles. It's pretty well noted that LaFleur is not integrating tackling drills at all during training camp or anything. I think after the Texans game week 1 or preseason week 1, they brought out the donuts, but that's because their tackling was so bad. They haven't practiced tackling at all, and it's showing up on the field now. Nobody can tackle anybody, so that really needs to get fixed, and in a big hurry too. They're going against a lot of times second to third string, even worse, caliber players, and they can't bring the guys to the ground. They're just shoulder popping them, trying to knock them out of bounds or knock them down, and they're not going down. And the guys are breaking tackles. Seeing Kenny Clark on that run last week, he just 2 feet away from the guy, and he just jogging half speed, didn't even want to make the tackle. I don't know what's going on with that. Also, the pass rush, it hasn't been too evident the last couple weeks. Because they played Webb and the Ravens quarterback, they're scrambling quick, elusive quarterbacks. They're hard to bring down. They're hard to get a hold of. They're fast, and that's why the pass rushing hasn't been there. They're nickel and diming it, dinking and dunking and throwing it short, 5 yards, taking the check down, or they're taking off right away. That's why the pass rush hasn't been getting there, and that's why we haven't been getting a lot of sacks so far this offseason. So, I expect pass rush to pick up a little bit tomorrow night against Oakland. Derek Carr, he he not too bad on his feet, but he's not like the other guys that we've been facing. So yeah, against the elusive quarterbacks, it's hard to get sacks. It really is, unless you blindside them and they don't know you're there. A lot of times they're gonna slip away from you. So that's important. Michelle says, "Come on, peeps, it's football season. Where are you?" He has an awesome YouTube. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it's a little slow tonight. We did one of these last week, and we had a few people in here, but pretty slow tonight. Alrighty, guys. Well, this is gonna upload to YouTube. If you guys like it, you want me to keep doing these things, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below. All your comments will show up too after the video is uploaded and everything. Comment down below what you guys think, what our number one things we need to work on is during practices, the mixed tackles, the pass rush, that type of stuff. You let me know if you think Rodgers should play tomorrow night. At some point, we could maybe do a watch party with this thing too, with the game. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys next time.